Oh, now I can't see any of you. Oh, geez. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2018 State of the City Address. My name is Alan Zelenka. I'm City Councilor from Ward 3 and the Council President. That's the area surrounding the U of O. And I'm your host for tonight's event. We're honored and delighted that you could be here to help us celebrate all that we've accomplished in the past year and set our goals for the future. As always, we're grateful to hold this event here at the beautiful Holt Center, one of our community's greatest cultural treasures. And this is the first time, though, that it's been held in the lovely Sorong Theater. It's much more difficult to escape this gracefully, so we hope to keep you interested the whole time. If not, raise your hand and we'll get you a fidget spinner and you can keep going. We have a pretty full agenda this evening. As council, we're committed to a safe and welcoming community and making our council meetings the same, inclusive and welcoming as well. I ask your cooperation observing the code of conduct of our regular Eugene City Council meetings so everybody can enjoy this event. I'm joined up here on the stage by Mayor Lucy Vinis, and like Jimmy Fallon, right here on this stage, Lucy Vinis. Also on this stage is, I'll just go in order of wards. From Ward 1, Emily Semple. From Ward 2, Betty Taylor. From Ward 4, Jennifer Yeh. Ward 5, Mike Clark. Ward 6, Greg Evans. In a dashing yellow tie. Ward 7, Claire Sarette. And Ward 8, Chris Pryor. And if you were counting, I was Ward 3. I would also like to acknowledge the partners of the city councilors. Without their support, we wouldn't be able to do this at all. First, I'd like to, I can't see, so I'd like to acknowledge my wife, Susie Smith, for her support and patience. And Rosie, Dave, Carl, and Shelley for their patience. Thank you all for that. Oh, now I can't see any of you. Oh, geez. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2018 State of the City Address. My name is Alan Zelenka. I'm City Councilor from Ward 3 and the Council President. That's the area surrounding the U of O. And I'm your host for tonight's event. We're honored and delighted that you could be here to help us celebrate all that we've accomplished in the past year and set our goals for the future. As always, we're grateful to hold this event here at the beautiful Holt Center, one of our community's greatest cultural treasures. And this is the first time, though, that it's been held in the lovely Sorong Theater. It's much more difficult to escape this gracefully, so we hope to keep you interested the whole time. If not, raise your hand and we'll get you a fidget spinner and you can keep going. We have a pretty full agenda this evening. As council, we're committed to a safe and welcoming community and making our council meetings the same, inclusive and welcoming as well. I ask your cooperation observing the code of conduct of our regular Eugene City Council meetings so everybody can enjoy this event. I'm joined up here on the stage by Mayor Lucy Vinis, and like Jimmy Fallon, right here on this stage, Lucy Vinis. Also on this stage is, I'll just go in order of wards. From Ward 1, Emily Semple. From Ward 2, Betty Taylor. From Ward 4, Jennifer Yeh. Ward 5, Mike Clark. Ward 6, Greg Evans. In a dashing yellow tie. Ward 7, Claire Sarette. And Ward 8, Chris Pryor. And if you were counting, I was Ward 3. I would also like to acknowledge the partners of the city councilors. Without their support, we wouldn't be able to do this at all. First, I'd like to, I can't see, so first I'd like to acknowledge my wife, Susie Smith, for her support and patience, and Rosie, Dave, Carl, and Shelley for their patience. Thank you all for that. I'd also like to recognize the members of the executive management team of the City of Eugene. First off is our city manager, John Reese. We'll raise your hand, John. And then we have Assistant City Manager Christy Hammett, Public Works Director Sarah Maderi, Fire Chief Joe Zaludek, and the longest title, Library, Recreation, Cultural Services Director, Renee Gruby. And some new faces, Central Services Director, Sue Kutza-George. Planning and Development Director, Denny Broad. City Attorney, Catherine Brotherton. And Interim Executive Police Director, David James. And Police Auditor, Mark Gissner. I'd also like to thank retired Police Chief Pete Kearns for his 34 years of faithful service to the City of Eugene. Good luck, Pete, in your new endeavors with St. Vincent de Paul. Also this evening, we had the pleasure of having several elected officials and other dignitaries. From the Lane County Commission, we have Sid Lykin, Gary Williams, and Jay Bosevich, as well as Administrator Steve Mokrohysky. From the MWMC Commission, Peter Ruffier. We also have U of O President Michael Schill and NCU President Womack and former Mayor Kitty Piercy. And from Peter DeFazio's office, Dan Whalen is here as well. I can't really see if there are any other elected officials. Raise your hand. I won't be able to see you, but please be recognized. And thank you all for your service and contribution to our community. As Council President, I also want to take a minute to thank all those several numbers of individuals who have served as members of each of our 8 standing committees that make the recommendations to the City Council on policy issues and advise the city staff. The following individuals completed their terms in 2017. I want to recognize them for their time, talent, expertise, and contributions. From the Budget Committee, Ken Beeson and Chelsea Clinton. From the Civilian Review Board, why don't you plot them all at the end. From the Civilian Review Board, Eric Van Houten and Lindsay Foltz. From the Historic Review Board, Andrew Fisher and Ellen Currier. From the Human Rights Commission, Jennifer Frenzer-Knowlton and Ken Newbeck. Planning Commission, Jeffrey Mills. Police Commission, Bob Walker. Sustainability Commission, Brittany Quick-Warner and Evan Fodor. And from the Toxic Board, Lisa Arkin. Thank you again for all your contributions to Eugene. On a more somber note, I'd like to take another moment to reflect on the loss of several individuals this year in our community who have made significant impacts. Public Works Director Kurt Corey passed away this year. He led the department for 16 years and was a great leader and a friend. Eugene Area Chamber of Commerce Director Dave Hauser, who led the chamber for more than 25 years, was a great contributor to the business community and the development of Eugene, and he will be missed as well. And retired University of Oregon professor Edwin Coleman, a teacher who expanded our perspectives on racism and economic disparity. They were all true public servants, and they will be missed. So it's my pleasure to introduce tonight's first part in the program, which is the live entertainment from Flamenco Chico. Martita Santiago was raised in Spanish Harlem from a very early age, supported by her family doing the dancing on the streets. She was later trained by the famous Guillermo del Oro and the Cancino family. Martita has also brought her magic of dance to stages all over the world, where she has performed at the Red Cross and USO Entertainment Branch, and interestingly, for a special event in 1962 for President John F. Kennedy. Martita has taught flamenco dancing here in Eugene for the last 22 years, and she describes the two sides of flamenco dance, flamenco chico and flamenco duende. Flamenco duende has traditionally been an expression of the grief of suffering of the Roma people and holds great pain and deep feeling, while flamenco chico is a style often performed at cabarets and is a lighter, more playful tone celebrating the joy of life. In the first piece, Martita will perform the traditional forms of Savaianas. It's always performed with 4 coppolas, which each have 3 distinct parts. The dance is accompanied by guitar, cajon, castellanas, and played by the dancers and enhance the percussive footwork. Immediately following the flamenco chico will be the performance of the Eugene City tap dancers doing the political two-step. So stay tuned for that. But before that, welcome Flamenco Chico.
Ahí sí. Sí. Ole, ole. Ole, vamos. Ahorita no.
Wow, that gets your blood going. Good news. Bad news is they're done. Good news is the Eugene Council tap dancers are not going to perform tonight. So on a more sedate note, we have a video coming up of our accomplishments for 2017. And despite the challenges of 2017, it was a very productive year for the city. And I invite you now to enjoy this video presentation of some of the highlights of the many accomplishments we have achieved together this year.
2017 kicked off with Mayor Lucy Vinis taking office and sharing her vision for the year. The mayor and city council set direction for the organization, focusing on safety and inclusivity, fostering a thriving, engaged community, and planning for the future of our city. One of the worst ice storms in recent memory sent public works crews scrambling for much of 2017. Crews worked through June, cleaning up thousands of downed trees and limbs. In all, crews logged more than 30,000 hours and cleared more than 1,000 truckloads of debris from city streets and parks. In January, City Manager John Reese was named First Citizen by the Eugene Area Chamber of Commerce. Selected by a panel of former First Citizen honorees, Reese was lauded for his work with the community to address veteran homelessness, revitalize Eugene's downtown, plan for Eugene's long-term growth, and promote economic prosperity. In January, the presidential inauguration generated a tremendous amount of attention at the national, state, and local levels. With more than 7,000 people estimated to participate in the Women's March in Eugene, the city planned for an event where people with differing political beliefs would be able to express their views and attend the event or protests in a safe environment. Police and Public Works, assisting agencies and others, worked in partnership with our community for several weeks in advance to make the Women's March a safe, welcoming experience. In March, the City Council unanimously approved the Protections for Individuals Ordinance, which provides protections for all Eugene residents, including immigrants. The ordinance reiterates the city's commitment to human rights and to being a welcoming and inclusive city. For the fourth consecutive year, the city issued a report on both criminal and non-criminal hate and bias behavior. Eugene has a long-standing reputation for taking these incidents seriously. Our well-established reporting system and the work of our Office of Human Rights and Neighborhood Involvement help create ongoing and strong relationships with community members and organizations that build trust. Together, we continue to work on strategies that increase safety and a sense of belonging while creating a culture that leaves no room for hate in our community. Eugene Springfield Fire received more than $600,000 in grants in 2017. The fund supported purchasing new fire suppression and safety equipment, as well as training gear. In addition, grant funding allowed Eugene Springfield Fire to host a regional training, develop education plans in case of hazardous spills, and fund advanced training for firefighters. The city continued efforts to increase the quantity and quality of housing options for community members. The renovation of Yopoa Terrace will support safe housing for more than 200 low-income seniors. The acquisition of an old church will allow St. Vincent de Paul Society of Lane County to provide housing for homeless high school students, and a new rest stop in South Eugene gives 12 homeless individuals a place to access services and get back on their feet. Beginning in the spring of 2017, the City of Eugene launched a number of specific strategies to make downtown Eugene's public spaces more safe, welcoming, and vibrant. The Community Outreach and Response Team continued to help high-risk, vulnerable people in the downtown. An increased police presence and the expansion of the Park Ambassador program, including a park host in the park blocks, helped create welcoming, safe spaces. New events and ongoing programs brought more people, including families and children, to downtown. And physical improvements such as increased sidewalk cleaning, more seating, and an attended restroom, as well as artistic parklets and pop-up vendors invited people to enjoy their time in the heart of our city. This coordinated community effort made a clear difference in downtown this summer. An active, thriving downtown supports and reflects the economic health and quality of life of the entire community. The library successfully completed its first year of expanded library services, including more programs for kids and families like STEAM Storytime and the expansion of Storytime to Go. The Maker Hub is now available to the public 7 days a week, in part thanks to more than 90 new volunteers. Recreation supported youth workforce development through many avenues, including training and hiring youth from the 15th Night Initiative, a community movement aimed to raise awareness and support for school-age youth who have run away or are at risk of running away. The program trained and hired youth and offered volunteer opportunities. Rec also offered programs such as Leaders in Training to help youth build life and leadership skills. Eugene Springfield Fire implemented a new basic life support system that can respond to a growing number of non-emergency calls. In collaboration with Lane Professional Firefighters, 20 additional EMTs are now on staff, a welcome addition to the department as we continue to look for innovative ways to address a rising number of calls for service. The city launched a series of Fix-It fairs in 2017, inviting the community to get items repaired at no cost. Volunteers and professionals provided free repairs and were available to coach more than 400 community members interested in learning how to make their own repairs. The 20 by 21 Huge Mural Project held its first week-long mural festival this summer titled Eugene Walls. 7 international and local street artists brought color and vibrancy to downtown Eugene and the Whitaker neighborhood, adding 7 new murals and many more small installations towards the goal of 20 murals created by 2021. The return of Sunday Streets turned out to be huge in 2017. Creativity flourished through the streets of downtown with the revival of the Huge Parade. Thousands watched the floats and participants then stuck around for Sunday Streets, another record-setting year. Similar to Sunday Streets, community participation and involvement was the cornerstone of significant community projects and initiatives in 2017. The path to significantly improve transportation safety on our streets started to take shape. Community members worked with city staff to create the Vision Zero Action Plan, a carefully crafted document that outlines strategies to help achieve Vision Zero, the goal of eliminating all deaths and life-changing injuries on Eugene streets by 2035. The city of Eugene remained a leader among a growing list of forward-thinking cities around the world that are addressing climate change and energy challenges by planning with vision and creativity. In 2017, Eugene launched a climate recovery ordinance through efforts like the Climate and Energy Action Plan update. The city also completed internal deep dives on greenhouse gas emissions reduction plans with leadership from our fire department and fleet and facilities service areas. These plans chart a path towards carbon neutrality, our 2020 goal. Eugene Police rolled out body-worn cameras in July after the equipment and storage of video evidence was researched, purchased, and officers were trained in its use. EPD was fortunate to be one of 73 agencies nationwide to receive a Department of Justice grant in 2015 for body-worn cameras, one of only 2 in Oregon to receive an award. Chief Pete Kearns was honored by the city of Eugene and the community after 34 years of stellar service to the city and the Eugene Police Department. Throughout his career, Chief Kearns worked with community groups, neighborhoods, and business associations to promote safety through problem-oriented, neighborhood-based community policing. Eugene is lucky to have had him. To find Chief Kearns' successor, the city reached out to community members to learn what they want in a police chief. We collected feedback at a wide range of community events and meetings throughout the summer and fall of 2017, concluding with a series of community forums at the end of October. Applications are being accepted and a chief will be selected in the spring of 2018. Preparing for a new police chief was one of a number of efforts to create a future-ready city that is looking ahead. This year, construction began on Eugene's publicly owned high-speed fiber network, UgeNet, in downtown Eugene. Based on our growing internet infrastructure and strong community partnerships, Eugene garnered a number of national recognitions this year, including being named a Mozilla Gigabit City and a U.S. Ignite Smart Gigabit Community. These distinctions also come with benefits to the community, including grant funds and collaboration opportunities. The Eugene Airport put the finishing touches on a massive $21 million expansion project, and people are noticing. The airport just completed its 7th consecutive year of passenger growth and is always looking to land more destination options. For the 3rd time in 10 years, voters invested in fixing city streets. In November, Eugenians approved a $51 million bond measure that will ensure significant street repairs through at least 2023, while also making safety improvements for people who bike and walk. Public Works will use the money to complete more than 100 projects throughout the city. The Eugene City Council passed the Transportation System Plan, a comprehensive and proactive blueprint to address the city's transportation needs over the next 20 years, with a focus on safety through Vision Zero and a significant reduction in our carbon footprint by tripling the percentage of trips made on foot, by bicycle, and transit by 2035. After 7 years of community involvement and technical analysis, the City of Eugene officially adopted its own urban growth boundary. The new city boundary includes an expansion for jobs, parks, and schools. The creation of the boundary is a crucial step in implementing the vision outlined in Envision Eugene, our community's collective plan for how Eugene will grow over the next several decades. Parks and Recreation have completed their 2nd year as partners in assessing the entire Parks and Recreation system through engagement with more than 12,000 community members. The divisions created a 30-year vision and a 10-year implementation plan to care for the current system and improve and expand upon its valuable community resources. This year, the council agreed to purchase approximately 17 acres of surplus riverfront property from the Eugene Water and Electric Board. Redevelopment of the site will include the creation of a world-class public park along the waterfront and a high-quality multi-use riverfront development. The new 3-acre park will enhance connectivity along the Riverfront Pass system, creating a new downtown neighborhood and becoming a signature destination and focal point when the world looks to Eugene in 2021 for the IAAF Track and Field World Championships. With a new park, an improved riverfront path, and an inviting link to downtown, the downtown riverfront will draw people from near and far to the center of our city and will provide a lasting legacy for the community. Our city accomplished a lot in 2017, and none of it possible without the hard work of City Council, employees, community partners, and the active and engaged community. For more information on the city's 2017 highlights, please visit the city's website.
Who says we never get anything done? It's nice to have a former newscaster on your staff at the city. Thanks, Brian. Speaking of talent, once again, please welcome Flamenco Cinco as they perform Que Me Voy, a song that celebrates lovers and a young woman who leaves for the mountains where she can be free. Meyer, take 2. Community awards are next. And I'm not going to present them. That's going to be presented by Mayor Lucy Vinis.
Good evening. It is wonderful to be here. Thank you all so much for coming this evening, even though I can't actually see you. It is my pleasure to present this year's Community Award to an organization that has demonstrated excellence in leadership through deep local understanding, a focus on building partnerships, and outstanding initiative. The Technology Association of Oregon in the Southern Willamette Valley established a local presence just a few years ago, in 2015, but their impact and benefit to our community will be reflected for many years to come. With a staff of 2, a board of 13, and an army of volunteers, TAO has provided a critical spark to unite and jumpstart Eugene's tech sector. Under the leadership of Matt Zayer, TAO has raised the profile of our community and region as a viable and exciting home for tech companies. They have created partnerships that are preparing our community and workforce for the future. and they have both figuratively and literally created the connections, high speed and person to person, that are laying the groundwork, the foundation for our future prosperity. Last year, the City of Eugene, Eugene Water and Electric Board, the Lane Council of Governments, and the Technology Association of Oregon partnered to construct an open access broadband fiber network called UGENet in downtown Eugene. UGENet delivers high-speed internet service to new and existing businesses, and it is anticipated to create more than 200 local jobs with the potential to generate over $12 million in annual wages. In addition, the service supports rural fiber extension throughout Lane County and benefits local school districts like 4J and Springfield, which now have 10 times faster internet service for their schools at half the cost. TAO has also focused on making this fast-growing sector of our economy more inclusive and accessible. From grade school students to adults looking to develop new skills, TAO has supported programs that help tech businesses find the workers they need locally and help local people gain the skills these businesses need. The Elevate Lane County program supports K-12 students with teachers learn more about the tech field and opportunities within it. Experience Oregon brings University of Oregon students on tours of local businesses. The recently launched Apprenti program helps existing workforce employees improve skills for career advancement or develop new skills for career change. TAO's annual Talent Match event lowers hurdles for skilled tech workers to find local jobs, and employers find local skilled workers. And the popular Hack for a Cause event creates connections between the tech sector and the community to solve real community problems with innovative uses of technology, cultivating a culture of caring and civic engagement. All of these efforts and the seemingly endless energy of the TAO staff have put Eugene on the map this year. In March, Eugene was chosen out of 47 other cities to become a Mozilla Gigabit city. In November, Eugene was chosen out of 24 cities to become the newest participant in the U.S. Ignite Smart Gigabit Communities program. All of these recognitions were made possible by the collaborative spirit with which TAO brought key partners to the table. With community support, TAO has been successful, leveraging our fiber infrastructure for local projects that have transformative public benefit. You only need to take a look downtown to see the results. Our downtown revitalization began by filling pits with buildings. TAO is now helping us fill those buildings with businesses. Today, I am thrilled to present this year's Community Award to the Technology Association of Oregon in the Southern Willamette Valley. Thank you. And I invite Matt Sayer and others to please come up to the stage.
On behalf of the Technology Association of Oregon, our member companies, and our partners, I would like to thank the mayor, our city councilors, and the community for your recognition. As technology leaders and supporters, we devote much of our time and energy to making the world a better place through innovation and good old-fashioned hard work. We're honored to be recognized by the Eugene community, and I'm proud to say the best is yet to come.
Thank you so much. Very exciting changes and growth and progress in our wonderful city. And now I have the honor of presenting the Bold Steps Award. Eugene is nationally recognized as a leader in sustainability because we work to improve our environmental quality while growing a sustainable economy. Together, we are creating a more livable city by balancing all three aspects of the triple bottom line: people, planet, and prosperity. This attention to how we grow enables us to address our community's present needs while preserving our resources for future generations. The Mayor's Bold Steps Award celebrates local businesses that have incorporated the triple bottom line approach into their daily operations. To be eligible for the award, businesses must complete a short application, be certified by Bring Recycling's Rethink Business program, and be located in Eugene. We chose Bring's Rethink program as a certification for this because that program, locally grown, created program, engages local business in thorough site assessments to identify ways that they can conserve resources, improve efficiency, and provide healthy, safe workplaces for their employees. Before I introduce the finalists for this year's Bold Steps Award, I'd like to thank Pivot Architecture, our 2017 winner. Pivot continues to set the standard for sustainable businesses in our community. Let's give them a round of applause. And now the finalists. 3 Eugene businesses have been selected as finalists for the 2018 Bold Steps Award. We ask the representatives of these businesses who are here tonight to please stand and be recognized. Can we have lights so they can be seen in the audience? And those 3 businesses are Summit Bank, there we go, Summit Bank, Good Clean Love, and George Rodig Repair Shop. Congratulations and thank you for your contributions, all of you, to our community. In just a moment, we will show you promotional videos for each of the finalists and then announce the winner of the award. Each finalist has received marketing and PR support from Bell & Funk and a professionally produced video by Attic Media about their business and the bold steps they have taken. The winner of tonight's award will receive additional marketing support and will take the Bold Steps trophy back to their business to display for 1 year. And the trophy is back here. I don't know if you can all see it, but you can see it afterwards, if not before. So we're ready for the videos.
Summit Bank is the last locally owned and headquartered community bank in Eugene, Springfield. One of our key values is community. In fact, it's one of our 5 core values, and it's surrounding about how we serve our community. So our green initiative, or what we're doing around the environment, is really an extension of that. We're really trying to give back to our communities.
The values that are here at Summit, it's something that is lived from the top down.
We felt there was a lot of waste going on in the building, and we kind of put our heads together. We created recycling stations where folks could take their items to. We removed the basic garbage can and replaced it with 2 other bins. We created job aids that could clearly direct the team member as to what they needed to put into those bins. And then that receptacle would be taken to the centralized workstations. And as different situations come about, we look for other opportunities. So it's really been a true collaborative team effort.
Barbecue Fridays were a little bit of a mess. Paper plates, plastic spoons, plastic forks. I wanted to eliminate the waste and get durable dishware and combine it all in one cart so it would make life a little bit easier.
We're continuing to learn from others in the community. We have so many good corporate citizens here and companies that we try to emulate who give back. I think it's just listen to your colleagues and the people you work with, try to help them continue to do great at what they do, and be behind them when they want to do some things and make a difference.
Hi, I'm George Rohde. I'm the owner of Euro-Asian Automotive, Auto House, and Stadium Automotive. My 3 shops do maintenance and repairs on most models of German, Japanese, and domestic vehicles. Bold Steps means working with your employees, your environment, and helping the community become a better place.
We crush all of our oil filters. We recycle all the fluids we can. We have implemented loaner bicycle, and we have fuel-efficient vehicles. All of our lighting has gone to LED lighting. Instead of using the usual cat litter that people use to clean up their oil when they spill it, we use actual hazelnuts. We recycle any metal we can, too.
We only have this earth, and we all need to be very, very sensitive on it.
It's good for us, it's good for our mental status, and it's good for our customers.
My employees are very, very important in my life. Nothing gives me greater joy than see one of my employees grow to become bigger and better.
We encourage all of our employees, if there's something that they're passionate in, we'll stand behind them. If they need to go volunteer somewhere, we'll try to give them the time to go do that. We're not just here for the money, we're here for the community, make sure we're lasting.
Eugene is such an incredible community. We have differences, we're diverse, and it's just important to make it better for each and every one.
I just encourage everyone in the community to get out and show their support for where they live.
My name's Wendy Strigar. I'm the CEO and founder of Good Clean Love, and we manufacture organic and natural intimacy products and feminine hygiene products.
Another thing that my patients really like is when I tell them it's organic, that there's not a big dent on the environment. So it's not only good for their body, but it's also good for the earth.
We're still in the process of becoming the first carbon neutral lubricant. You know, we're probably one of the few companies you'll ever find that recycles our boxes. You know, we also actually have sort of found ways to ship so that we're not paying as much fuel to ship. So we make those kinds of decisions, which just make sense.
A lot of our products are made with I'm Green certified packaging. They're made with a type of sugar cane that's actually biodegradable and is much better for the environment. I would just say that everybody here is really dedicated to the mission, and it's pretty inspiring to see how passionate all of the employees are about growing Good Clean Love, continuing to educate our customer base, and continuing to help women and girls around the world.
It's unusual that you have a business that puts those goals first and foremost. And it's inspiring and encouraging, and I think that's what makes us all work so hard and work so well as a team.
You can make positive change at any level. We're a particularly small company, but we're still making big changes to help sustainability and help make the world a better place for everybody.
It might be a small step for each of us, but if everybody did that, it would make an even bigger difference.
I hope that when I'm gone, that if people remember only one thing about me, they would remember for a moment to be more loving, because it's the only thing that will save us.
Thank you. Those are compelling, and I will say that one of the hardest jobs I have to do is to pick a winner among those three, which is not an easy choice. But I have chosen a winner, and the winner is George Rohde Repair Shops. And George, I invite you up. Please come up to the stage.
First of all, I wanted to thank the City of Eugene,
There's a few things. Sharon Olson and I believe it was Jim Taylor many years ago on the eco certification came over, and they had about 107 questions to ask me, and I said, yeah, like they're going to check them all. I'll tell you what, they came over and drilled me on every one of them, and it was my first awareness. Really nicely, really great. So I thank the City of Eugene to get me started on this. And I want to thank Julie Daniels and Angie with Bring to continue this program. The ECO program and the Bring Recycling have kind of merged to get the message out to everyone. Small little steps make a huge difference in the livability of Eugene, Oregon, U.S., and the world. I also wanted to thank all my managers, Jesse Wilson, Mike Vidas, Joe, and Ryan, for all their hard work in supporting me and just being great. As I said, I'm really into making my staff as good as I can. And I also want to thank Devron for pushing us to complete our eligibility application for the bold steps. But most, I wanted to thank Cynthia Kalunke, my goddaughter, and kind of the stone of my life, the rock of my life, to help me continue this. She was actually the one to fill out the application. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Thank you, and I want to thank our wonderful mayor for making, I think, the right choice, but a good choice.
Congratulations to you, George, and your staff. Congratulations to all of our finalists. You all do incredible work for our community and for taking the bold steps that are inspirational. I have said this before, that what I hope we consider bold steps today, we will consider the standard of business tomorrow, that you are the leaders, you're in the vanguard to create those bold steps, and we hope that others will follow in your footsteps. We encourage all Eugene businesses to get Rethink certified and apply for bold steps. Next year, this award program could be showcasing your business and your sustainable practices, and we could be sharing your story with the community in honor of your boldest steps. So congratulations again, thank you all. And I believe we are now entertainment. And I turn it back to you.
So we get to do the flamenco now?
Now you get to do the
Okay. Not the first time I've gone off script. Once again, please welcome Flamenco Chico as they perform Que Me Voy, a song that celebrates lovers and a young woman who leaves for mountains where she can be free. And my apologies for freaking you out earlier.
Allá en el río Magdalena tengo mi ranchito hermoso. Allá tengo mi moreno con sus ojos cariñosos. Allá en el río Magdalena, en el río del amor. Allá con mis suplidos, con la flamenca de tío, tráeme de la trompetilla, que me voy para la montaña. Tráeme el ron y la hierba, que me voy para la montaña. Que me voy, que me voy, que me voy para la montaña. Que me voy, que me voy, que me voy para la montaña. ¡Ole! Vamos, bailalo. Una vez me enamoré y la luna me engañó. Otra vez que me enamoro, no ver a tus ojos. Allá la Virgen de Asturias, que me voy a aparecerme. Allá con mis suplidos, con la flamenca de Tillo, tráeme de la trompetilla, que me voy para la montaña. Tráeme el ron y la hierba, que me voy para la montaña. Que me voy, que me voy, que me voy para la montaña. Que me voy, que me voy, que me voy para la montaña. ¡Ole!
Well, I just told Lucy she has to follow that. Speaking of someone who's also danced their way into the hearts of the people of Eugene, Mayor Lucy Vinis is up next. It's been my pleasure to have known Lucy for over 25 years and worked with her closely for the past year. And if the voters are willing to allow me to continue to represent them in Ward 3, I'd like to be pleased, and it would be my pleasure and my honor to work with her over the next 3 years. It probably didn't go unnoticed that President Trump and Mayor Lucy Vinis took office at the same time. But the similarities don't just stop there. They both have a keen interest in climate change, sustainability, homelessness, sanctuary cities, and immigration and DACA. And while the president has a distinct advantage over the mayor in using Twitter, it's not too late to catch up, Mayor. So it's my honor and my pleasure to welcome Mayor Lucy Vinis to the podium to deliver her 2018 State of the City address. Ladies and gentlemen, our Mayor, Lucy Vinis.
Thank you, Alan, I think. Well, that was quite a year. We began with the Women's March in January, followed by a Sanctuary City Ordinance, scholarships to the Dreamers program, and our first annual Indigenous Peoples Day. 2017 was a year to define ourselves in light of or in contrast to a turbulent national climate. We also responded to an increase in hate speech and graffiti in our own community. Let me be clear. What we do in Eugene matters. It matters that we stand for our values. It matters that we work toward improving the quality of life for everyone who lives here. It matters that we respond constructively and positively to climate change. And it matters that we model the work that we want others to follow. I want to do two things tonight: review and report on the commitments I made to you last year, and highlight the themes that will guide my second year in office. First, the long term. Big choices of lasting impact were voted on and moved forward by City Council. We approved a 20-year transportation system plan and an urban growth boundary, both of which respond to the dual challenges of climate change and population growth. Both are fundamental equity issues because they form the framework on which we build a livable community. A livable community must incorporate transportation options to serve everyone, people who live here today and those who are coming. It includes buses, biking, and walking, options that reduce our carbon footprint and strengthen our commitment to Vision Zero, a program to eliminate vehicle-related deaths. Thanks to voters, we have extended for another 5 years the road bond to maintain and improve our roads and our biking and pedestrian infrastructure. Council made a huge step in realizing the Envision Eugene goals by agreeing to expand our urban growth boundary to include more land for parks, schools, and industrial areas to encourage continued economic growth. Council also voted not to increase that boundary to accommodate more housing. With this big decision behind us, the city is positioned to gather data that identifies where future expansion for housing can and should take place. These decisions sharpen the challenge of building enough housing in enough neighborhoods that people at all economic levels can afford. I made two commitments to housing last year. The first was to address the need for increased shelter options for people who are homeless. We continue to support and expand the Dusk to Dawn and Rest Stop programs, which answer the urgent needs for shelter and stability. But the pressure is unrelenting to do more, faster. We continue to struggle to find locations for more rest stops that are acceptable to neighbors. I convened 3 meetings to gauge the interest and commitment for permanent public shelter. There is consensus that a low barrier shelter for folks who are sleeping in our parks and doorways would be valuable. Providers of housing and health services are eager to engage in the development of this shelter. The Budget Committee and Council took a significant step in directing the manager to reserve $1 million of the Comcast settlement funds for this capital investment. And the County Human Services Commission has committed almost $50,000 towards a feasibility study. Let's be clear. A shelter is not a solution to homelessness. Yes, some people who stay there will access services and make their way toward more stable lives. But others will rotate in and out multiple times. The shelter is an answer to a health crisis. It will increase the survival chances for folks who are living in the open. It will reduce the impact of people seeking emergency care on our hospitals and clinics, and it will reduce suffering. It is in everyone's best interest for these folks to be safely housed because people living without shelter and sanitation struggle with untreated infectious diseases. Untreated human waste in our city is a health hazard to us all. My second commitment related to housing was to champion the missing middle, compact, more affordable options, including duplexes, fourplexes, cottage clusters, and townhouses. We have missed decades of building housing in the price range, size, and location to meet the demand of boomers who want to downsize and millennials who need to get started. As with all housing proposals, there are challenges and opportunities. The conversations about what, how, and where are beginning to coalesce. I'm grateful to the realtors, developers, architects, land use experts, affordable housing providers, city staff, and many community volunteers who are bringing their experience to bear in this conversation. The University of Oregon has stepped forward as a key partner and will host a Missing Middle Forum with this new coalition, Better Housing Together, in February to identify a few key strategies that could promote more construction of this housing. Council will follow with a work session, and we will begin to transition from talking to doing. Please be a part of this. All of this progress hinges on our economy. The city is responsible for creating a climate in which businesses can provide products, services, and jobs to our community. Downtown, in particular, is our economic engine. This year, the city invested in expanding the high-speed fiber throughout downtown, a commitment that earned us 2 national awards, which you've heard about, as a Mozilla Gigabit City and a US Ignite City. Our city's tech sector continues to grow and thrive, attracting new businesses who invest, create jobs, and infuse our downtown with energy and opportunity. We are poised to realize a long-held vision for riverfront development. This game changer expands housing, commercial, and park space and forms a dynamic triangle between downtown, the riverfront, and the university's new Knight campus. This work joins us more closely with Springfield as they work westward to enhance Franklin Boulevard. Together, we are compounding our investment in that essential transportation corridor. Ahead of us is planning a new city hall, a permanent home for the farmers market, rejuvenated park blocks in Kesey Square, and a reconfigured plaza at the Holt Center. In 2017, we marked the 35th anniversary of the Holt Center, which was built on land within an urban renewal zone and constructed during an economic slump. It was controversial then, but no longer. Recognizing that anniversary should galvanize our commitment to investing in our public spaces. Our choices about investment of public dollars can be controversial. Reasonable people disagree. The timing and quality of information that is shared between decision makers and with the public drives the discourse and influences the outcome. I pledged last year to work hard to report in a timely and clear way to the public. I have done so. The promised monthly report has been updated regularly and posted on the city's website. I have written weekly blogs all year and published 9 guest viewpoints in the Register Guard. I also instituted an independent study group to review and share information about the kinds of auditor roles incorporated in other city and county governments. My goal is to ensure that we have a robust, factual discussion of the choice before us on the May ballot. A performance auditor can be valuable. An objective review of specific city functions with an eye towards delivering the best service possible will help inform and reassure the public that tax dollars are being well spent. The Citizen Initiative proposal, which adds a third branch of government with dedicated funds, should stand the test of public scrutiny before and if it becomes law. We are aiming for responsiveness, that the city's work meets the needs and hopes of all who live here. The public discussion is important. As my study group concluded, there is no right or wrong way to do this. It is a question of what structure is the best fit for our community. City staff raised the bar with their innovative public engagement efforts this year. Parks and Rec staged a little red bus in the parks to invite ideas and feedback on the master plan. The city's Listen, Recruit, Hire outreach to solicit views on the hiring of a new police chief has astounded the national recruiting firm for its extensiveness and effectiveness. What we learn from each of these efforts will inform how we approach the changes and challenges ahead. And change is the name of the game. As I look forward to the coming year, 2 themes emerge. The first is that the global is local and the local is global. We are an increasingly diverse community, emerging in a national climate of distrust, racism, and sexism. We have been caught in our own complacency about how people of color, varying gender identities, or national origins experience life in our community. We can do better. We can listen. We can pay attention. We can question our assumptions. Whether we are talking about access to jobs, to a quality education, to affordable housing, or to the opportunities to simply enjoy life and our community, we need to bring all of the voices to the table. Eugene will be on the global stage in 2021 for the World Track and Field Championship, the biggest international sporting event in the world that year. I traveled to London last August to see the championship and gain insight into how London, a city of 7 million, accommodated 40,000 guests. My takeaway from that trip is that we will host in a uniquely Eugene and Oregon way, and it will be extraordinary. We have already begun. Witness the spectacular murals across our city as part of the 20 by 21 project. We anticipate opening a bike share program in March that will not only enable more of us to make quick trips between the university, downtown, and Whitaker, it will move us toward our climate recovery goals and serve our future international guests. We are all challenged to answer the question, what is your 20 by 21 goal? Mine is that as a community, we will honor 20 different cultures in monthly themes. Restaurants offering food, venues offering music, dance, or theater, museums sharing history and art, schools engaging students in learning about other cultures and languages. Many of those 20 cultures are already represented in our friends, colleagues, and neighbors. They offer us a personal and direct passport to other parts of the world. Let's make the most of this moment. The second theme that emerges for me is resiliency. I mean this in the broadest sense. The city works on many levels to prepare us for disaster, whether in the form of climate change or a major earthquake. Neighborhood associations are conducting CERT training to expand the number of people who can guide and assist in times of crisis. Our transportation funds help us strengthen bridges. eWeb works to ensure access to water and power. New schools are built to withstand earthquake tremors. Last year, the Mayor's Ad Hoc Committee on the Climate Recovery Ordinance worked closely with city staff to update the Climate and Energy Action Plan. This plan will provide us with a roadmap as we adapt to and mitigate the impacts of climate change. The big structural and infrastructural changes require action by big entities, major energy consumers, and major employers. But resiliency is also a personal responsibility. Last year's ice storm and forest fires have made it clear that we will not escape the reverberations of climate change. The way we approach those challenges will determine our success. We are in this together, and if we look at this as an opportunity to live better together with more care for one another, we will build a more cohesive and effective community. Imagine our neighborhood schools as centers for us all, each with its own power grid and water source, a place not only for shelter, but for stability. Whether or not the big one hits in our lifetime, these scattered, strong neighborhood centers will bind us together. Suddenly, school funding is something that matters to everyone, whether you have kids in the school or not. Neighborhoods become safer because residents can count on the neighborhood center to help them weather a crisis. The elderly and disabled know there is a place to go and neighbors to help them. During my first year in office, a number of people, mostly young, began their testimony before the City Council by saying, "I want to acknowledge that we are meeting here in buildings built on Kalapuya land." Most of these young people were testifying about climate change or homelessness, reminding us of our context and that history should guide our thinking about current and future challenges. I am part of one wave of migration that is now surging into a new, larger wave. We came because we believed that our lives would be better here than in the place we left behind. And it is. We all make it that way with our talents, passion, love of nature, the arts, and the quirkiness that makes Eugene unique. Keep that thought close as we tackle these larger-than-life challenges before us, and acknowledge with gratitude the people who came before. Our emerging diversity is part of our resilience. We're in this together. I'm excited for the year to come. Let's get to work. Thank you all. That is the end of our formal program. We invite you to, the house lights will come up, you can mingle. There are refreshments in the back. I thank you all very much for coming, for the staff to make this all possible, for my colleagues in the council to sit here and support this event and the good work they have done. So please, and those of you who have won awards, please come back up. We'll take some photos. Thank you so much. Have a good night.